What is up? What is up? Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Saturday morning. Cam Broham, Matt Vrzal bringing Husker Hangover to you after a victory. Our beloved Nebraska Cornhuskers pull off a win in Iowa City over Iowa, who will not be attending the Big Ten championship game, in a score that will ring near and dear to many people's hearts, 24-17. Welcome. It was, what a day. I hope you had a happy Thanksgiving. Hope you enjoyed the state championship games on Monday. Just hope you had a great week. This week gets me all wonky. I get out of whack because we're closed on Thursday, and then I thought yesterday was Saturday. I think today is Sunday, so Sunday will be a rude awakening for me. But watching the game and having it was really, actually, I had an awesome day. I know it's not a popular opinion, but soccer person, I like soccer. So a buddy of mine said, hey, I got like 12 buddies. Can we come down and watch the World Cup match? I'm like, absolutely. Come on down. So we had a great group of folks, full-blown off the boat Irish, like Ireland. Can you get a water for the lad? I was like, yeah, sure, dude. It's just, you can just ask me for a water. Can I get a water for that kid? But yeah, so anyway, started there good, then just flipped right over to the Nebraska game. USA drew 0-0. But then into the game, right? From the jump, knew we were going to have a day. Okay, that has happened before as we watched this team play football. Knew we were going to have a day, but then just had to see if they could maintain the day, right? If they could maintain it through a whole 4 quarters of football. Iowa, a little beat up, don't care. It is what it is. We had to do what we had to do, and they did it, and they won. And was it perfect? No. Was it what it had to be? No. But they did it. I thought this number would be different, but Nebraska, which I think is a huge statistic for this team, because it needs to keep our own defense off of the field. I thought it would be higher. They converted 5 of 14 first downs. That can be deceiving at times, because you'll get a first down on second down. So, but those times where they could stay on the field, keep the defense off of the field, our own defense off the field, give them time to rest. But the defensive game plan by Bill Bush and his crew was awesome. It attacked, it blitzed, it did get run on, but that's okay. Bend but don't break. Give a little to get a little, however you want to say it. Iowa on the other side converted 6 of 16 third downs, which isn't it's a good number for us. 1/3. That's a good. Then you factor in fourth down, they were 1 of 3, so they were 7 of 19 in maintaining possession of the ball. It's huge. Good job by that defense. Now, thank God, Iowa fan, if you are listening, I think it's in your best interest if you ink old Bry Boy up for about 50, 60 years. Like, I would say Brian Ferentz should probably just only coach at Iowa. I say that sincerely. I think he did a hell of a job. I think he should be there until Iowa just doesn't play football anymore. Like, I think a 30, 40-year contract would be good. The way he calls plays. I really like the plan. Taking a guy that, if you put him in a competition with some of our quarterbacks and they try to throw it in the ocean, I think the ocean would be the safest place to be. I mean, I like that. And, then later, Like, oh, I have this set of mauling offensive linemen and 3 running backs. Maybe later in the game we'll try to run it. Oh, bro, you stay there forever, baby. Mwah, love you. But it is, we have only won one in the past 8. So we're past, 8. So, hey, tides are turning. That, though, that blueprint, right? Now, will not shed a tear. Oh, and this, please let this happen. Will not shed a tear that our offensive play caller is, see you later. How you doing? Keep it moving. I hope those papers are signed. I hope that check is cut. I hope those bags are packed. And you go wherever you need to go. Okay, done with you. Done with you. Because at halftime of that game should have been 31-0. Okay. Worst case scenario, 23-0. Okay. You are given opportunity, and it's again, offensive coordinators, just, I'm sure you're great people, don't even want to be associated with you. Not even in the slightest. Your job as an offensive coordinator is not to stop yourself. Okay? You do not have to pull the foot off of the gas for nothing. Casey Thompson feeling it. Brown's feeling it. Washington's feeling it. Trey Palmer feeling it. We're feeling it. We are carving. We are slicing and dicing. We are in the kitchen doing what we need to do. And then you, Mr. Whipple, want to start to run the ball. Okay? Everybody collectively raise your hand if we have bitched about the offensive line. Okay. Everybody at home should raise your hand. Why in God's green earth would you think that's going to change against one of the best run stopping defenses in the country? And that little 44 Benson, man, that dude can go. I like him. I wish we had him. We would take him. But what are you doing? What are you doing? Carve them until you don't make them pull you off of them. Okay. If you're coaching youth sports, get into that mindset. There's no nice competition. If you want nice competition, go back to Y League, right? Go back to that. That should have been 31. Okay, if you scored 1, 24, 27, 31 to 23 at halftime, right? 31-0 or 23-0 at halftime. That should have what it. Second half, you ain't got nothing to sweat. Still go down and score. Now you're at 30. 30 to dick, as some say in the coaching profession. That mindset. And that, because listen, man, we as Husker fan, we're watching this thing, and we don't need puckered butthole. Like, we don't need puckered up thinking, well, here we go. We're going to blow this thing, because every one of us to a human being thought that. Every single one of us. We're watching this thing. I'm like, here we go. And hey, my staff, God bless them, love them, had 2 of my OGs, Dave and Dooch, with me. We were working last night just because it's holidays and kids are flighty. I am dog cussing everything, right? And if you've ever met me, my voice carries pretty good. I'm sure customers, if you heard, I meant no ill will toward you or the team, maybe toward the OC, but hey, we'll talk about that. But yeah, I'm mad. Like I'm having to go in the freezer. Okay, if I get super frustrated, I'll go in the freezer. I know this isn't kosher or PC. I'll go in the freezer. I will pull the inside handle door and I will punch the door with my other hand just to calm myself down. I'm in the freezer. Like, I was in the freezer yesterday. I was mad because I literally thought he had money on Iowa. I thought this guy's got Iowa money line. Like, we are trying to not do this. This is what our goal is for today. But kids didn't let it happen. rallied, played well. Like I said, BB, Billy Bush, that game plan was awesome. Game plan was awesome. Watch the first sack when they knocked Petrus out of the game. They go into a check. I apologize, I can't remember the number. It was either Cam or Mauga Clemens. They go, okay, I will get set up. They motion a dude, trade a dude across the formation. And anytime you see a defender do this, that means he's not celebrating. That means whatever they were going to do is off, and I am going. And I am about to get to this quarterback, and I'm going to hurt him because I have no threat over here that I have to cover. They have shown nothing in film that's going to run the ball back my way. So any thinking that I would have to do or any thought I would have to put into this process, gone. I am going to that human being, and I'm going to hit him as hard as I can. And if he sets up for pass, great. If he rolls away for pass, I'm going for the strip. If he comes at me, I'm going to knock him out. He was so happy. He was so happy when it happened. But that's scouting. That's coaching. That's getting everything in line. They did it. They did it. They did it multiple times. It wasn't always the same guy. Wasn't always the same way. But yeah, super happy for that set of kids. Super happy for the black shirts. They will get their black shirts on Monday. They will be able to carry those with them for the rest of their life. They earned them. Okay? They earned them from the transition game on. Except Michigan kind of got your shit kicked. But that's, hey, it is what it is. Talent differential, and that is real. All right. Yeah. So happy for those kids. So happy for Mickey Joseph. In the presser afterwards, Mickey's the way Mickey talked in the presser. There were some things in there. Jesus, I'm trying to get emotional. There were some things in there that he said. The way he said him really bummed. Not in a bad way, but I want him as a coach. I do. And, from the way he talked in it, don't think that's going to happen. So that's the way it goes. Hit me up with any questions, comments. We're just going to call people out. We've got a message out to David Benning, Matt Hoskinson, and everybody's own Uncle Fester, Aaron Taylor. We'll see if Saturday morning we had Tommy. We did a live recording of our 5115 podcast. You can catch that on the Herd at Sports Network. Tommy, I said, dude, I send this thing to you every Sunday morning. Why can't you come on? Man, I'm hungover, and that's early. I was like, dude, it's not that early. Like, come on later in the show. You don't have to be on for the whole show. God knows we don't need to do two whole shows together a week. But anyway, you can get at us however you want to get at us. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Love to get your takeaways of it. I did text a good Iowa friend of mine. She and I go back and forth. Her name is Stava. And I said, hey, Stav, sorry about that. And she just responded, no, you fucking aren't. But this is the hard part in this, right? Is if we have an OC that gets this, right, that understands it, season should be a hell of a lot different. The season should be a bowl eligible season. The season should be, hey, we really think this Mickey Joseph is our guy. With all the kids a lot was made about Casey Thompson. What's he going to do in the he walked with the seniors on that thing, and he's waiting to see if Mickey's involved. He's waiting to see if Mickey's the coach. No two ways about it. Trey Palmer, Same boat. If they're out of eligibility, I apologize. I don't have the brain to keep. My brain does not know eligibility. I can't keep up with it. It's too variant. Just a ton to take away from that game, and you hate to look back and think what if, but you can't help to look back and say what if. What if the trigger got pulled on the prior regime the year before? Maybe it's not Mickey's head coach, whatever. But you're in a different space, right? Like if you get those kind of play calls where you see the guys that are there in the receiving core, right? And this isn't even using a tight end, which is still baffling to me. This is just 3 dudes, sometimes 2 dudes, running a route straight up beating people. That's how talented they are. I know Iowa's secondary was banged up. I know they had issues. But that game plan will travel, right? That what they want to do there will go. Worked almost everywhere they could, and it's just a talented setup, man. It's just a talented group. It was always so hard or inconceivable to try to figure out why it wasn't better than it was. And there's the adults. Some of the adults were in the way. John says the best ending of that game yesterday would have been Mickey smacking the gum out of that. John hates how the French chews gum. It's pissed him off for quite a while. I mean, Jesus. I'm telling him to chew with his mouth closed as they shook hands. I think that's aggressive. Like, I think that's Mark says, what's up with the second half prevent offense all season? Yeah, dude, I'm with you. It's like you got tired. Like, man, I'm calling this game great. I'm so tired of these plays that are working. Let's try some plays that suck. No, we're good. Score. Here's the thing, too. It isn't about somebody's feelings in that, right? Can you imagine the jubilation on your own team? Like, we put teams in this position a lot. Hey, get Nebraska to 3rd and 8 and just blitz the living bejesus out of them, make them get rid of it in 2 seconds, and then just catch the punt when they have to punt, right? If you're Whipple, I really want to do the Family Guy. Whipple. If you're Whipple, give your defense that luxury, right? Get up. I'm just going to go worst case scenario. 23-0. You have a 3-score lead, 6 points, 3 touchdowns, 3 2-point conversions, get you to 24. Okay. You've got them now where run doesn't work. They have to pass. They have to set it back there. Now your defense can tee off for an entire half of football. If you're at 31, you legit can just go. Man, Bill Bush just said, you know what, boys? We don't think these receivers can run past this. We think he's still going to want to throw it. We're just going to play this thing man. Man, whatever receiver they got, and we're blitzing this thing. And their tight end got loose late. They started to run some crossing routes, right? Good things to do against man-to-man coverage if you're watching football. It's just a mesh concept. I'm going to take somebody, turn left. I'm going to take somebody on the other side of the field and turn right. That's it. They're just going to mash across there. Sometimes they ran a pick. Sometimes they didn't. Sometimes it was just an in route. Or dig, as some have to call it. God forbid you just be very literal and like, hey, I'm turning left, I'm going in. But whatever. Yeah, man. What a day. I mean, I so happy though. If you look at the other side of this, if Daddy's boy for Iowa just calls the plays that are there, like just calls like from the jump, just runs the ball. Totally different game. Totally different game. But little buddy wanted to throw passes. Like, dude. Their left tackle too is probably super pissed. He was good. Number one, he was mean. Number two, and he was like pissed. Number three. Anytime a run would happen for them, which is very rare, he was going batshit crazy. He was clapping and screaming and yelling. I felt so happy for him. And then his pass, he'd be like, fuck. It's like, what are we doing here? But thanks, though, Brian. Appreciate you, buddy. To the comments we go. This is from Brian. Who's the new coach going to be? I don't know. I know not everyone shares my opinion, but I give Mickey the job. I mean, F word. Dude's earned it. My eyes. His mission was whatever about wins or losses. The shit show he was thrown into. It's very true. It's very true. It ain't gonna be him, unfortunately. He has to be in the mix, though. He has to be. He's got to be there. And it was. I just for what he did in that scenario, knowing very reliable sources, he wanted to terminate the offensive coordinator at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln quite a while ago. And he, got told he couldn't from the powers that be. So you just keep it moving, right? You just keep going. Like, hey, this is what I want to do. I want to shit can this guy. Sorry, can't do that. We don't want to, take a fragile psyche even more fragile. But yeah, dog, I'm trying to win games. Like, this is an open audition for me. He, I feel, is in my way and preventing me from accomplishing said goal. So if we could just figure this out, it'd be awesome. I say this fully tongue-in-cheek. Do not take this seriously. But it explains why that guy held on to him in Michigan and then shove his old ass out of the way. No, I'm just kidding. I kid. It's not a joke. It is a joke. It's a joke. But yeah. I think, Brian, to your comment, if Nebraska is 6-6, because I think 100% Trev put that number out there to say this is what the old guy's specs were. If Mickey can pull this off, number one hat in the ring. That's what hurts me about it. And that's why I'm so hard on Whipple and so complimentary of Bush. I feel there were games that were won, could have been won by better offensive calling. And I'm steadfast in that. I can't even waver on it. I wouldn't even think twice about it. 100%. Games won with better play calls. Can't even talk me off of it. Because that defense and what Bush did kept Nebraska in every game. But when there are games we're converting, and maybe the number I gave today isn't as good. When you're converting a third of third downs, your defense got to go out there all game. Do your job. And I know the defense has to be in shape. Inevitably, you're going to wear out. Shit, the one game they played against like 100 some odd plays. Can't sustain that, especially with low numbers. But anyway, I feel that number was put out there by Trev to say this is the baseline. Nebraska gets to a bowl. If that would have happened, if it did not happen, that would have been the highest attended bowl game by a visiting fan base ever. They would have built extra stands. They could have set up a second stadium outside with just a TV, and they'd watched it. They'd have went. Whomever would have gotten that bowl game, whatever, Poulon Weed Eater Bowl, you'd have sold the most weed eaters in the history of your company. It didn't happen. But I think that was I didn't think that was I thought that was intentional by Trev. And I'm fine with that. Here was the old guy's expectation. I'm just going to throw this out there. And if the new guy gets that expectation, great. This works out great for me. He might be the guy. He might be the one. But yeah, man, that presser got me. That presser got me. FSU Mike, who loves nothing more in the world than to pat himself on the back. Mikey, don't break your arm, bud. Congrats to your Knowles. WBD3 says, go get Willie Corn from Coastal Carolina, be the new OC. Hey, man, open the checkbook, right? Whomever the coach is, you got announcements. They want to hit me in the comments or just, I've heard Saturday, which is today. I've heard today. I've heard Monday. We were walking through the scenarios yesterday. If it was going to be today, your main candidates, because you got to look at people that are eliminated from championship games at the start of Friday, were Rhule, Aranda, Mickey. And then you had Fickle and Kleiman, with the potential to go to their championship games. Fickle lost. If they keep it today, it's Fickle. Or Fickle, Rhule, Aranda, or Mickey. Kleiman's going to championship games, so he's out. Can't be him. So it'll be interesting. If anybody wants to be a hot shot reporter and get any breaking news, just send me in it. That was a statement that was uttered by Patrick. Iowa could still win. I was nervous. I'm not going to lie. I was like, oh, dear Lord, baby Jesus, here we go. This is too. I have items in here that are older. I keep them, not because I'm a hoarder like my mother, because I'm like, someday something's going to really upset me and something of very little value is going to have to get broken. And so there are little plants around here that if something goes terribly bad, and it's happened since I was a kid. Nebraska lost to Iowa State when I was a redshirt freshman. I had this sweet ass wooden Louisville Thumper bat, and we lost. And it's this big tree in our front yard in Grand Island, and I broke the thumper over the tree. So it's not physical harm. I'm not harming people. I just broke my bat. That's the way it goes. Tony says, I'm glad it wasn't the only thing losing my cool in the fourth quarter. Yeah, dude, I was. You were waiting for the shoe to drop, right? You were waiting. You're just waiting because it's happened so many times. But again, credit to the kids. Credit to the kids and the vast majority of the staff that were trying to win the game, not trying to run for 1.5 yards per carry. Okay? Credit to the kids because they just stuck in it. They had the opportunity to fold like a deck of cards when the ball started to be run by Iowa. That first touchdown, on the first touchdown that Johnson ran, what happened, it's designed left. He's looking back here on the backside. Nebraska got tired and got out of line assignment, right? And then they had two guys in a wide gap and nobody in the gap inside of that. And he saw it, boom, cut back and gone. Speed wins because the full flow of it's going left, right? And one guy just got a little bit too wide on that. He didn't fill right. If he goes right in where they are, Johnson has to go forward. It's a 6-7 yard game. He got outside of it. Johnson saw the cut and hit the jets, hit the turbos. Back in the day, he used to push the B button. But he was gone. But they did it. They did it, right? They did it. Still didn't attempt to return punt with 10 yards of space in between it. Maybe Oliver didn't want to show up, his old team. I don't know. I'd have been fine with that. Try to run it and get 4 yards. Maybe somebody misses a tackle. And try. Just effort it. See what happens. You might like it. You're like, man, this is a rush. I just made those three guys miss. I'm running free now. If your arm, your shoulder is sore from waiting for fair catch, maybe punt return in your business. Or maybe he's being told that. Matthew says it's the first time in a decade we are ending the year on a high note. I think we forgot what that feels like. Amen. Amen. I didn't. And, as far as like squashing Iowa's chances to go to the Big Ten championship game to get their shit kicked by whoever they play, I don't care. Don't care. I only care about Nebraska. I don't care about your old Nebraska U. If you go out and you handle your business in an efficient manner, the rest does not matter. People always, this opponent is this and this opponent is that. And you're never playing against the opponent. They're there on the field with you. You're playing against yourself to execute the best you can. If you execute the best you can, it does not matter at times. If Nebraska goes out and executes the best it can in every game this year, you got a way different season. Not no word of lie, it may have a way different coach too. Because if they just played themselves all year, that's who you're competing with, ourselves, then it goes different. Man, it felt good. Winning always feels good. Winning always feels good. Chief, this is after the roller coaster this season was. It felt effing great to beat Iowa and knock them out of the Big Ten championship game. Did Mickey do him? Patrick says, did Mickey do himself a disservice by needing an associate head coaching tag? I don't know that one. Needing the associate head. Oh, I don't know. Everybody, every staff, everywhere has those. I mean, go through the roster. Everybody's an associate, athletic director, head coach, or something. So that's why, too, I'll throw my hat in the ring. Not as a coach. Be terrible at recruiting. Not as a coach. I go down there, player personnel. And my title would not be associate, athletic director, charge play. No. I'd just try to change mine, just being a bro. Matt Vrzal, bro. What do you do? I just do bro stuff, man. Making sure everybody's vibe is good. Making sure everybody's like just ready to roll. Right, we're feeling good about this. Getting rid of all the drama that happens in here. Yeah. Look at them, though. Everybody's got some fancy title. Where did that come from? I mean, we can all blame all this travel baseball crap on the Gladiators. Thanks, Gladiators. Appreciate you for us having to deal with this. I don't know what title. Probably had somebody get all pissed off and say, I'm leaving if you don't give me a title. And they're like, okay, what can we make up? We're going to call him the assistant athletic director in charge of bleh. There we go. Ooh. Matt Vrzal, Husker. That's my title. That'd be awesome. That would be a great job. Probably not going to happen, but hey, we can all dream. Tony says the excuse for Iowa was that they were banged up. So were the Huskers. Everyone is this time of year. Amen, buddy. Amen. You can crutch that one if you want to. You can be hurt. Here's my question. Why weren't your backups ready? You can be hurt. You can be banged up. Why weren't your backups ready? You just rolling one deep. You can try to run the whole Big Ten season one deep. My backup got hurt. Okay, where's the next guy? Literally, everybody says it every week. Next man up. Not my problem. Brett says, did you see the young gal who's an Iowa fan try to take the trophy from Garrett Nelson stands after the game? I do feel fortunate. We never really had trophy games. I mean, there's some cool ones, and they've spanned the test of time when the Big Ten was the Big Ten. I would not get that worked up about that trophy. I know that. And, maybe that sums up Iowa. They're more worried about that trophy than one you get when you win the last game of the year, which we got 5 of and you have none of. Just thought. Just a thought, Cam. She was trying to pry it out of Bear's hands. He probably slept with it. He was very happy. I was happy for him. Trevor says it baffles me. They don't have a true screenplay to complement the drop back pass game. Keep the heat off of a hit off and get a back in space. Yeah, amen. Now, Trevor, I think you know and I know the main reason they don't is because for you to run screen game, the athleticism of the offensive lineman has to be very high. Very, very, very high. It would. I've bet, especially with as much pressure as they get put on them. I'm talking to even just Thompson catches it. Everybody just kind of whiffs like they do. The rush is coming. And you just dump it over the top, like just a middle screen. The simplest, I feel, of them all. But amen on that. Amen on that. JB says Bush did amazing. Special teams became a strength. Defense became aggressive. Yeah. Keep them both. I really feel strongly about this. You become very relevant in the West, irrelevantly of who your head coach is. Bear with me. If Mickey and Bush are on your staff, you don't want to mandate anything to anybody new, but when you're new and you come into a situation, your guy has to be respectful of what's there because it smooths the transition. I told you guys on the show, it's a fear of mine, and I'm very happy it happened. But when Mickey was the associate head coach, I said, this has to work now. It's got to work. It's got to turn the corner immediately, because if he goes through this and he is not selected as the head coach, you lose your most valuable asset in your organization. Mickey Joseph is single-handedly the most valuable person in that entire organization. Period. Hands down. No debate. Don't even have a close second. At the time he was put as the associate head coach. Now you have a close second because that is Bill Bush. Okay. What Bush has done is damn near amazing. Okay. So now with Mickey being the associate head coach and Trev setting out, that's why I think he set the parameter out to try to get to that number. If you do not hire Mickey and you hire someone else, you force that hand to make sure they have to keep Mickey. Okay. If they keep Mickey right, wrong, or indifferent, now you're going to have kids saying, well, you, new head coach guy that I don't know, says it this way, but we used to do it this way when Mickey did it, and this seemed to be going in a really great direction, and I don't know you, and I don't know if this is going to work. Okay? That's why I am thrilled for Mickey Joseph that he got the opportunity to be the associate head coach, because I think it shows what a star he is. The thing with that is other organizations across the country saw it. And if you don't think that however this lines out, and maybe Mickey becomes the OC, maybe that works. Look at the Fickle example at Iowa State, right? Shit hits the fan at Ohio State. They put Fickle in as the head coach. It doesn't work that great. You bring in old herbs and spices, and away you go. But away goes Luke Fickle to Cincy. They lost yesterday to Tulane, the Green Wave. Shout out to Wave. But he's doing pretty good. Somebody else is going to see Mickey Joseph and what he did and say, hey, dude, we know what you just did. We know what just happened there. Would you like to come be our head coach? We are going to pay you this much money. We'll put these incentives in if you can pull these in. That was my only trepidation with the situation. I got bars. Now it's all come to fruition. It's all come to the point. I want Mickey Joseph to be at Nebraska for the rest of his life because he is it. He gets it. He's that dude. I think the kids are saying now that is him or he is him. He's that guy, right? Bill Bush, hell of a coach. Took what looked disjointed and out of control and no discipline, no nothing, and molded it into something that did its job. In the 3 phases of the game, it did its job. Hockey term, we had our guy. Offense, can you say the same? No. Those are my fears in this, right? Those are my fears. I think they're very valid. I think you have 2 program building people that are in it for the kid. I don't know who listens to Pat McAfee. They had played a snippet of Matt Rhule's interview on McAfee. As you know, I was at Temple. I'm a relationship guy. I'm at Baylor. I'm a relationship guy. Went to Carolina. I wasn't a relationship guy until my last. Well, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. No, this is nothing against Matt Rhule. But if he gets back to being a relationship guy, it's different. So now you got 2 relationship guys you should keep. Mickey Bush. No offense to the rest. I don't know. If Rhule comes in and gets back to being a relationship guy, that then turns into better recruiting guys. And now you get better bodies in the building. We're seeing that sometimes the Jimmy and Joes are going to outweigh the X's and O's. Okay? Have to. I don't care if you reboot Mickey Joseph for $2 million a year. Make him the OC, associate head coach, OC. Make him that, right? Show him you have a value to us in this way. If you get your recruiting class in the top 10, we got another $500K for you. If your offense finishes in the top 10 of the country, another $500K. We're going to get you to $4 million through incentives and a base salary. That's how valuable we know you are, Mickey. Which I can't stress enough. You got to keep him. You got to. I think actually the correct English is you have to. Bill Bush, we saw what you did. It was damn near amazing. What do you think if Rhule comes in and he's, the head coach, but we're going to keep you in here and he's going to teach you how he wants it done and he's going to help you achieve it? Bet. Here's a couple million for you. Let's go. What they've done. And now, then the argument of the other camp is they're better out there. Yep, there's better out there. Okay. Reason I tell you this is because you have to mentally prepare yourself. If these guys go, the rebuild of it looks way different. Okay. The rebuild of it looks way, way, way different. Mickey, Bush, stay, whomever the head coach is there. Boom. 1 year, next year, I'll say it, and revamping of strength conditioning. Next year, you're 8-4. 7-5, 8-4. Take it. Bowl game, get ready. The Huskers is coming. Okay? If they're not, the build is going to be long. And long in my rule is 3 years. That's coming from a guy who just hopes to wake up tomorrow morning. So, because I think a lot of your players that are your main players in this are tied to Mickey and Bill, and they go, so go the player. And I know you'll say that's fine. But I think with the right person there, Mickey, you can turn this thing quick. Like the corner can turn fast. As far as your skill goes, you have talent. Your tight ends, when healthy, have talent. You have to stock up your lines quickly. You can do that in portal and via JUCO. You need to get your linebacker room stocked up. You can do that via portal and JUCO. If it is Matt Rhule, you're going to have some cachet because some guys are going to be like, hey, man, that guy was in the league. Like, he knows what the league is like. I don't think it'll be a detriment that he got fired, but I think you'll have people that are intrigued like, hey, man, that guy had something. Someone put up, yeah, what do we know about Rhule? 47, 43 in college. Had the ability to keep kids in Texas. Will it work? F Iowa. JB got a double today. 47, 43, you're building. I mean, my guy was at Temple. He had Temple in the mix. Not for national championships. Just being better than Temple. He's a Penn State guy. He's defensive based. If he gets back to being a relationship guy, does nothing but help recruiting. Has ties in Texas, which I think with TV contracts and everything is very undersold by everyone right now. Oh, won't get a play from mom, dad. I think there's a rules guys who are ever in there. You can fly the parents up to 1 or 2 games a year. I think. I could be wrong. Somebody could have been lying to me. Dave says true or false. Vinny. If MJ wasn't allowed to make personnel changes he wanted formally implemented, 6-6 metrics should have been real. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Or they were just too far gone in it. And I'll go the other way on you, Vinny, that the 6-6 metrics would have been irrelevant. Because when he wanted to do him, it was the game that put them where he couldn't get there. So, like, yeah. If you would have pulled that trigger a couple weeks ago, yeah. But right now, what's the point? Because the week that it was going to happen, or that they wanted it to happen, Nebraska had lost to the point where they couldn't. It was their 7th loss, so they couldn't get to it. Robert and Maureen are going back and forth. Just comment to Robert. That is not, the decisions are not being made above Trev Albert's head. This is Trev Albert's. Trev has even said that's why the speculation and the people sending me flight trackers and all that stuff's funny to me. Trev has said there's 2 people that are going to know this hire. Me and Ted. That's it. Like I said, the search firms that are out there, they don't even have all the information. Nobody has every piece of information. They've all got different pieces of information to just go do an unbiased search. Because with those search firms, if I give you all the information, you're going to go and say, okay, we got XYZ guy. He checks two of these 3 boxes. Let's go get him paid. Sorry, pal. You ain't just bringing your guy. You have to go do due diligence. Everybody has a piece of this equation. I will then take all of the equations or all of the research that you do and put it into my equation. And I'll make it work then for me. You ain't going to go into your bullpen and find me some guy just so we pay him. I've got to find a guy that can rebuild a great culture and an awesome atmosphere, fantastic fans, great facilities. I got to have a guy that can rebuild this thing. Sorry, we ain't getting your guy paid. ESPN said on game day that Rhule is expected to be announced as head coach. Yeah, everybody's been saying that. Now that the season is over, any word from front? God damn it, John. John, let it go. It's over. Stop. Maureen, don't put that one up there, Kim. Not nah. TA number 34 is in charge of that bad boy. Don't you fret. That thing with people in power or people that have done well, the best thing you can do is make them think they're in control. And that's what's going on there. They are not in control of that, Maureen. You do not worry about that. I will bet my life on that. David says, if I ever see a trial play again next year, I'm going to have PTSD for this year. Yeah. Amen. Amen. I think David is meeting around against us, but yeah. A lot going on, man. A lot going on. Happy for the kids. Oh, that's a good point. Robert says titles are just there to justify money. Why though? Why can't you just add on the job description? I never thought about it that way. Rusty says, good morning. It was great to see the team not beat itself in multiple turnovers and penalties. I'm really thankful that the Whipple experiment is over. Go Big Red. God bless. Does anybody out there, because as I watched that game, I'm like, this is what it should have been. This is what it should have been the entire time. With Mickey Joseph head coach. This is what it should have looked like. We got weapons on the outside. We can take advantage of this. You know, you can get it to, hey, is your fourth cover guy as fast as our fourth receiver? Or is your outside or inside linebacker as good at covering? Can he cover our back out of the backfield? By the way, shout out Ramir Johnson. 14 ran tough with little to no space. Brings up a question, though. Why wasn't he playing more? You know, they call, I forget what they even called it. It wasn't a running back and it wasn't I don't know, attack back or whatever catchy name they came up for it. Do me this, put that guy in the backfield and swing him out in the flat, catch passes. By the way, shout out to the running backs at Nebraska. Iowa really started to crank it up. They got home a couple times. Instead of our running backs sitting back and waiting for a blitz and kind of taking it and getting run over, they were attacking dudes. Now, once you stick, you got to stay sticky, right? So we would hit, kind of recoil, and then they'd still get a little pressure, but not a huge amount of pressure. Next time, right? Take that full sprint and just try to run through him and stay sticky, stay on him. But I was impressed with that. It helped a few times. Gave Thompson just that little extra second he needed to throw the ball. Doug Mahoney, who I used to coach with at Malcolm in C. What were at that time? C2? Yeah, C2. When your playoffs start, you get to play some day games. Doug's favorite phrase was always the day games were fun. The game started at 3, so yes, Doug, day games are fun. Mandate nothing. Mickey is a desirable coach in his own right. Bush really wants to be here. He can be valuable, but mandate nothing. Oh, as far as keeping him, yeah. Like I said, you can't. Patrick, hopefully not. Probably time for Coach B to retire. He's had a hell of a run. Why, Matthew? Why is paying someone that provides value to your organization a boatload of money? Like that would be like what's your, like, if your job you got real good at it, you'd say, nah, I'm topped out, bud. I don't need any more money. You would want to make as much as you could if you're a valuable part of that organization, no? Like you don't think you got assistants down at other schools that are making on paper money or on contract money and off contract money? Come on, dude. Beat it. It's ridiculous. It's outside of the budget. We can't spend the money. You got $2 billion in a foundation account, dog. You get 90,000 people to game every week. You're going there spending $12 on a pop. Talking about. It was ridiculous. That's why you suck. You want to know why that's ridiculous, Matthew? That's why you suck. Because you won't pay people. Fuck. Piss me off. You have to pay to play in college football today. The quicker you understand that, the better that'll go. It's a return on investment, dude. Ugh. Justin asks us, can Flores be flipped to Nebraska? I know we didn't offer, but is it in the stars? If Thompson leaves, we're Barrett QB. No. As much as I would love to say yes, no is that answer. They made every last-ditch effort. Will T, Alex Narducci, a.k.a. the Ducci at Pisons, both in at work. Stay off my ass, John. It's 9:02. Yeah, got a rough day yesterday. He cannot be flipped. They have asked, rightfully so. They were ignored by the previous regime. They are awesome people, and they do not feel that it is in their best interest to go against their word. And Zane's super excited to get down to Oklahoma State, graduate early, and probably be in the mix to get some playing time very early in his career. The best players need to be better. Trey Palmer can't be tackled by one handful of jersey. Needs to make it credible. I know what you're saying, Lee, but Iowa's in a spot where they're trying to win too. Yeah, I mean they're trying to get after it. By the way, I think it was number 16. That dude's a wrestler. That dude is a wrestler. Grip strength, swept the leg. Palmer goes down. Really would have loved to see him go for it. I really would have. There you go, Johnny, my guy. The NCAA had a pilot program that paid up to $12.50 for parents of players in men's and women's Final Four. Oh, Final Four CFP. We ain't in them. That ain't us. That ain't us. The reason that I get pissed when we talk about money, okay? I will pay for quality. The university will pay for quality. Deans of colleges make more than teachers of colleges, right? But it's like anything in life. If you go and you get great at your job and you're a valuable asset to the company, pay. Nebraska has access to capital. I know they have a budget they have to stick inside of. I get it. But pay for quality. On 5115, Tommy and I talked about how would you do this? I would go out and find whatever position, rank coaches across the country 1 to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I feel, and this is Tommy speaking, and I apologize for speaking for Tommy, but he felt that Nebraska should have a top 5 coach in every position and pay for it and watch how much better you get, because this thing just snowballs. If I get better coaches, they get better players. If they get better players, I play better on the field. I play better on the field, I win more games. I got people now fighting again to get back in the stadium. I got people to fight to pay $12 for a pop. I got people that fight to buy the last hat at the game. I got people that fight to buy shirts. I got people that fight to go online to give me their money. Return on investment. Have a high-ass paid staff. Get great players in here. Coach the shit out of them. Win a bunch of games. Get yourself back into national relevance. Have people want to do deals with you. Watch all the sponsor money flow back in. You have to spend money to make money. Go out and get the best. Do we not view Mickey Joseph as the best wide receiver coach in the country? Yep. Do we feel he can be the best OC in the country? We don't know yet. But if I incentivize him to stay in my program, he feels wanted, he feels needed, he goes out and he recruits his ass off. I have no problem if you pay a wide receiver coach $1 million. You have money. Spend it. Make it make you more money. How long have you heard the phrase, put your money to work for you? Yeah, okay, deal. I'm going to go get awesome people. I, as a head coach, be like, hey, man, listen, cut my salary down a little bit. Build that pool up. Throw me a bunch of incentives that are tied to their incentives. Now we're all incentivized together. And away we go. You only got to pay us when we win. Or when we get a bunch of yards. When we finish in the top 10 in offense. When we finish in the top 10 in defense. Our special teams are the best in the country. Verse to my untrained eye. I saw, and you struggle immensely any run play where we had a puller. Pullers were slow. RB was waiting for the puller, put in the backfield every time. What did you see? We're just, with puller has to have deception. The minute Iowa saw low hat, okay? So when a lineman blocks, you have a high hat, which is a pass, meaning they'll kick and they'll set themselves up high, or you have low hat, which we're going down to attack, okay? Anytime Iowa saw a low hat, they instantly filled every gap. Very, very disciplined. I don't know Iowa's defense coordinator's name, Barker, something. Anyway, that guy's good. Like, he's good. Tip of the cap. Because the minute that hat went low, they were in it. They were there. So Thompson couldn't keep on a quarterback. If they did a puller, if Nebraska pulled, they had a guy in the back pocket. And then that Benson kid, penetrate faster than the lineman. He's in it. They are a very good defensive football team. Where they were banged up was in the secondary. That's why you saw play action work, right? Zone read across. Low hats, post, touchdown. That's why those worked. Because of aggression. Use the defensive aggressiveness against it. They did a good job of that. They did a real good job of that.
Hey man, I'm getting some reports. It's official. They've got Matt Rhule hired.
Really?
Yep. I've seen it on the internet. They got some tweets.
Oh, the internet said it's got to be true.
I know. That's why I'm prefacing it with semi-official. But I'm
probably
thinking
why my
it's
phone
happening.
was. What? I'm gonna.
Like the Huskers Twitter page retweeted something as well. So
now you're gonna make me.
I'm doing some research over here, but I just wanted to get that out to you before before we keep moving on.
All right, hold on just a second. Is it at Huskers? I don't even follow them.
At Huskers.
I'm just kidding.
And a nice little Photoshop of Matt already wearing a Nebraska shirt. So
the future is bright in Lincoln. Introducing Matt Rhule, head coach, Nebraska football. Well, there we go. Breaking news on Husker Hangover. Matt Rhule has been hired as the head coach of the University of Nebraska. Yeah, Matt, I know he could get $4 million to coach somewhere else, bud. I don't want him somewhere else. I want him here. I want him here where he belongs. Yep, everybody said it. 9:03 official. Thanks, Matthew Smith. That was funny. Yep, so Matt Rhule, new head coach, University of Nebraska at Lincoln. It's a good hire. Okay, it really is. See how the structure of the staff lays out before Terrell Farley is probably going batshit crazy. If you're on Facebook, just look out. T. Farley will be going in. Like, he will be going in. So be ready. But the guy is a builder, okay? Here's the positives of it. All right? Positives of it. He's a Penn State guy, so he knows the conference. right? He knows the expectation. He knows what this is about. Right. Number two, he's defensive based. He's a defensive guy, which I think is the easiest way for Nebraska to continue and move on and find success. Because I think you can build the defense, because defense, as I've told you many times, it's just a bunch of dumb guys being aggressive. It's a pure aggression game, right? I kid with my defensive buddies. I take one read step and I go, and that's it. Okay. I take one read step. JT is going to be super proud because we're on and actually able to talk about this. She always tries to get me to film myself on my phone. Can you get a reaction to this? No, I can't. I don't like looking at myself in the mirror. I don't like looking at myself on this little thing right here that you keep doing this to me, Cam. But we're breaking news right now. Get it? We need a ticker, like ticker across the bottom. So he's been through this, right? He was at Temple. Okay. He had Temple into a very relevant spot. But what they did, Temple's defense, I think, ended up finishing the top 15 a couple of the years he was there. Pretty sure I'm 100% wrong on that. I'm trying to make myself feel good. But good defense, right? Builder. He built Temple. Okay. Goes to Baylor. Either the next or the next of the next after the whole Broyles shit show went down. Total lack of institutional control. Baylor probably should have been terminated altogether. Went down there. Again, builds it defensively. Easier access to talent in Texas, quicker turnaround. Gets them very relevant. And then the NFL comes a knocking, and you go to Carolina, and it does not work. It did not work from the jump. Like I said, in that interview that he talked on the Pat McAfee show, the part I really loved about it is that he made mention, hey, when I was at Temple and I was at Baylor, I'm a relationship guy. Very, very important for that. Okay, that's an important thing in college athletics, because you got a bunch of people that you're trying to mold and to go into one direction, and you have no clue as the kid, as the player. You got no clue what life's about. You think you do. You don't know your head from your ass. Now, in that, I don't need somebody monitoring every spare second of my life. I have to go figure some stuff out. But the relationship that I have with my coaches and coaches that weren't even coaches of my position was awesome, because I knew they were always there. If I got into something way bad, I'm like, hey, Coach McBride, do you have, can I talk to you just a second? He'd be like, yeah, what do you need? And then you go and you kind of air it out. When you know they're there, that's the relationship. That I always say, you guys probably roll your eyes or get very scared. If any of my players at any time call me and say, I got a body, my response is, I got a shovel. Okay. I'm not going to go dig a hole and put said body in said hole, but I'm going to help them. They're my people. The accolade or the acknowledgement that I get as a coach is because of what they've done. They've chose to listen to me. This is our relationship. I will be with them forever. If Matt Rhule can come in with that mindset or with that mentality, I'm pretty sure he's not a video game player, but he can come in with that mindset and that mentality. And when you get people to buy into you as a human being, this is why Mickey's good at it. Those kids know Mickey Joseph has their back all day, every day. Bill Bush, the same way. They know that. It matters. If he can come in and restore the culture, which was the culture when they were successful, he will have success here. He really will. It will go very well. I'm going to get you super hyped up. Okay. I'm going to give you a path here. There was a gentleman that used to coach the foosball, Michigan State. Yeah, I believe he started at Toledo before that, but don't quote me on that part. Had some success. Had a shit kicked by a team. I had an old guy tell me you're not as good. You're never as good as you think you are, and you're never as bad as you think you are. He moves up the chain. He goes to LSU. Has immense amounts of success. Wins a national championship. Goes to the pro league. Goes to the NFL. Goes to the men's league. Doesn't go well. Not at all. Leaves that. Comes back. Builds the wagon. That is Alabama. And that is one Nick Saban. Now, I'm not saying Matt Rhule is going to be Nick Saban, but there's a reason that the NFL doesn't work. Okay? Dealing with multimillionaires at every position and attitude and ego, and people, honestly, they have families. Hey, dog, I got to leave. Your rah-rah speech or all the stuff you want to do, I can't sit in the locker room all day. I got to go home. I got family. I got to pick kids up from school. The reason I bring up that correlation is to just stir the pot a little bit. No, but with Rhule coming in and getting back to college, this could be a big deal. It really could, because if he gets in there and he can just get back to being relationship coach guy, discipline standard, won't have to question it. On an X's and O sense, knowing like gap responsibility, not going to be a question anymore. Hope he keeps Bush on with him. Pray he keeps Mickey on with him. It'd be awesome. But you can get those guys in there, right? You can get talent in there to play now. You'll get guys that are drawn to that. But look at the areas that he can touch, right, that I like. He can touch Pennsylvania because he's got name recognition. Hard-nosed dudes up on that East Coast piece up there, right? He can get down into Texas and get people and say, yeah, I may be at Nebraska, but if we rebuild this, you will be a legend forever. They got a 5'9" guy out of Wichita Falls, Texas. He won an Outland Trophy. They think he's a king. Guy's got to be 2 inches taller to be around. His name's Aaron Taylor. That's what you get for not coming on, Taylor. They'll love you forever. You'll be set. With my connections now, I can help you. I know what your skill set is. I can help you get to the next level if you want to go. And I can get you a great education. This is what I can do. I can make this happen. It's interesting. Matt won't let this go. Matt, I know you can't pay $4 million, bud. I know you can't, but you got to pay well. Okay, get it. Just let it go. It's over. Done with it. I do like the hire. I want to see what the staff looks like, right? I want to see what it becomes. I would say there's quite a few people in there that are, well, it was fun being here. Thanks, guys, for the paychecks and the experience. We'll catch you on the backside. When conference expansion happens, the TV deal goes north of $100 million per year. Nebraska can afford to pay. Nebraska can afford to pay right now. Well, we're back to coaches' salaries or assistant coaches' salaries. You can set a precedent that you are going to pay assistants well. When you pay assistants well, good assistants want to come get paid well. If you have a good assistant that is not being paid well, they will contact you. Yes, I know, a $2 million contract with incentives to $4 million. It's not, I know, bud. You're focused on the number. You're not focused on the concept. Fuck. They just said, yep, Tommy. Tommy's a little behind. He's hired. Well, Maureen's pissed. Maureen's not in on the hire. Come on, Maureen. We don't know. He may hold on to Mickey. He may see the value of Mickey Joseph being part of Nebraska. I'm just going to say a high salary, so I'm not held to the numbers. A very high salary, like top 5 assistant coaches in the country salary. If you look at what that number is, I think he's earned it. Nyla says, until I get an update from 10-11, there's a new coach. I'll wait. There. That's loyalty right there. Yeah, Robert is correct. T. Far now, the fellows are realistic. Okay, Robert says T. Farley and VJ are going to lose their shit. That's true. That they will. They're protecting their guy, as they should. I'm saying make sure their guy has a large, prominent role. I know you can't force a head coach to keep somebody. I know that. But if Rhule has been paying attention at all, or let's be honest, like the coaching fraternity, there's people behind the scenes talk about Mickey and what he's doing. Right? Matt Rhule will know about Mickey Joseph. Trust me. Ed Orgeron, go Huskers. That'd be awesome too. Yeah. See, Fred's got it. First order of business: meet with Mickey, keep him on the staff. Yeah, simple. Literally on Husker football social media to be announced Monday. It's okay to believe. Not you, John. Talking about Aaron Taylor. Man, what a day. Breaking news. What are you giggling about?
And you're $10 richer.
Oh, yeah, you owe me $10.
I owe you $10.
Nice.
I'm going to pay you in 5s, though.
That's fine. That dude yesterday had his tab was like $100. Rifled off it all in 5s. Just walking around with 25s. What kind of strip clubs you go to? No, I'm just kidding. Well, it's a new dawn. It's a new day. The Matt Rhule era will be announced on Monday. New hire will be announced on Monday. One thing, if you want to kind of like a background or an easy way to watch, maybe what discussions have been going on behind closed doors, watch the recruiting class, right? Watch the recruiting class. If you see guys start to fall out of the recruiting class, you know Mickey probably won't be involved in the staff. If that recruiting class stays solid, he'll be. That means he's there. Okay, in my opinion, I could be wrong on that. Oh yeah, this is my oh hell yeah shirt just because we won. It's a rarity. That's a pilot guy. Oh no, that was a good joke though. He said Rule 1, do not celebrate a 4th win. I was like, hey buddy, I'm celebrating this thing myself. Like, I don't care. It's a win. It's been a hot minute since we won. I am doing that. Yeah, that would be that. That's probably what I'll watch because it's going to take a while, right? They're going to do the thing on Monday and travel beat, get up. I'm just super honored to announce the 40th, 30th, whatever number it is, head coach in Nebraska football history, Matt Rhule. Rhule will get up there and he'll have on a red tie, have the red lapel pin with the N. He'll say, how great it is. It's a story, tradition, and going to work real hard to do everything we can to bring it back to, he'll be humble. He'll be, it's hard to bring it back to what Coach Osborne had created, but we're going to do our best, and we're going to work hard, and we're going to lift weights, and we're going to run, and we're going to this, and we're going to play fundamental defense, all the buzzword, all that stuff. One of the categories they wanted was a proven builder. He's built programs. He built Temple into a viable entity. He built Baylor in a short term. This one would probably be where people are going to have their most question because the tenure at Baylor wasn't very long. but he seemingly got it going in the right direction fairly quick. The NFL is not for everyone. The NFL is not for everyone. And it wasn't for Matt Rhule. Back to Nebraska he comes. I like the hire. To me, the guys I had on my list, there wasn't anybody where I was going to Mike Riley this thing. And I'll never forget the day they hired Mike Riley. We're at Small Pisons, which was just over here. It was only carry out. Jay Foreman was in, and we're watching, and Jay Foreman's looking at the ticker, and he goes, "You hired fucking Mike Riley." I was like, "What? The old guy at Oregon State?" Like, yeah. He goes, "Man, we are fucked." And I was like, "Well, let's give the old bastard a chance. Maybe get some new facilities, gets a little more money. Maybe it'll all resonate." Foreman looked at me just with this disgusted look. He goes, "Fucked." I was like, "Okay, I guess we are." And he was right. They got to 19-19, had some success, but it wasn't nearly as monitored as it needed to be. But my list was this: Mickey, Aranda, Kleiman, and Rhule. I kind of had it a dead heat, and then Fickle. I didn't think we had a chance at, but I would have liked that. Like that was my top 5 set of guys. Mickey was my one. Wanted it, had everybody and their dog tell me it wasn't going to happen, like all the old heads in the media. Can't do it. Can't have it be that guy. All right, you're right, old head. But I don't mind the hire of Matt Rhule at all. Anybody on that 5 list of mine, I'm good with. Everybody has different strengths. Everybody has different people, skills. Everybody has different mindsets, mentalities. You got to find guys you can work with. Hopefully those meetings are set up. And they're done quickly and they're done efficiently. There is talent on your staff. Your talent just needs help to get pushed in the right direction. Back to the comments we go. Jay says, glad the Groundhog Day scenario stopped yesterday. Hopefully Rhule can get and develop guys with the help of Mickey and Bill. I like that. That is a forward-thinking look at it, Jay. Development of players, okay? Having gone through what Rhule has done, and by no means, like I think somebody posted his career record's 47, 43. You're inheriting some shitty teams. So early on, you're going to take it in the shorts. You're going to move on and do better. This is just the way it is, right? The overall number is not gaudy, but the eye for assessment of talent is. Temple's defense is flying around. Temple is not going to go in and win recruiting battles against Ohio State and Penn State and East Coast teams, Southern teams. He's not going to win those. But he had dudes. Now Texas, at Baylor, he's got to go down there and you're in it. Like you're in against the big boys. He had talent to make them very relevant. He had talent to make them achieve. So I would say, too, he's going to have a development plan. Now, every individual player will be different, but that will be a big thing. Because if you look at this state, okay, I was very fortunate. I got to call the Monday state championship games. I had D1, D2, and A, okay? There are more than enough players on that field, okay, and the field that was there on Tuesday, for you to go in and say, currently you are this, okay? We feel with our strength and conditioning, we can put 15, 20 pounds on you. We can get you to this position. It's going to be a position move, but you will play for us in 2 to 3 years. That's our thought. You tell us what you think. If you have another plan, we totally support your other plan. Best of luck somewhere else. Okay, that finite eye to look at it and see. Currently, you are a defensive tackle at a school that is dominant. We are now going to move you to the offensive side of the ball. We're going to try to turn you into Steve Hutchison at guard, and we are going to make you a dude. That's what we're going to do. Have a vision. I think he can do that. I don't know him from Job. So I'm just I would bet on Temple. Again, the only reason I know about any team is because I've bet on them in the past. And I know when Rhule was at Temple, I could bet on Temple and I could win money. Facts. I knew when he was a Baylor, I could bet the under, which I hate betting. I could bet on Baylor because he was there. For all of you fans of hard-nosed defense, physical football, that's what you're going to get. The body types of guys that are playing your defensive line and playing your linebacker spot are going to look a little different. They're going to be a little more chiseled. But it's a great opportunity because there is talent there currently at Nebraska. I still believe it. Strength and conditioning needs to change. Athleticism needs to change. Mobility needs to change. Those are probably the same, but I needed another word to put in there. That all can change over a summer, over a spring, over an off season. Okay? It's all there. It's all set up. Just how do you take advantage of it? Matthew says, does a head coach self-scout his assistants? Just wondering, as a new coach might. 100%. 100% you self-scout your opponents. Because in it, your transition is less. Okay? If I can go on that staff and I self-scout, I say, hey, who's been in charge of these receivers? Mickey and this new kid, once Mickey got this associate head job, or whatever it is, interim head job. Those two. Okay. Valuable. This defense went from being a sieve to kind of like outside of Michigan and Purdue, which they have to, but Purdue is kind of a slugfest. You're going to have that game. They kind of started locking people down. Who's in charge of this? That'd be Bill Bush. Okay. Mental note. Good job there. Kind of switched the mindset, mentality in an off week, and got shit kicked by Oklahoma. Sorry, I keep forgetting that one. Mental block on that one. Write his name down. Who coaches the secondary? That's Fish. Okay, Fish got secondary. Okay. Then some other position coaches like, oh, you don't want to know what position I coach? Like, nah, we're good, dog. We're good, dog. We're good. You can go and take guys. You can keep them because they already know your kids. They already know your kids. So now, Rhule's got to spend time with these guys, the coaches. What are they like? What can we relate? Do we get along? Are they funny? Do they joke? Are they super serious? What's it like? Are they football guy? Do they watch it all day? What's their family like? Bush got kids. Mickey's got kids. Mickey's wife's got a radio show. Maybe I should go on the radio show. Maybe I shouldn't. Okay? All these things go into it. Relationship business, relationship game, everywhere. All relationships. Right? That's what it is. But yes, you self-scout your staff. Or you just go watch some games. Like, I like what that position group does. I like what that position group does. Tight ends, you block real good. Probably highlighted the blocking for a team that doesn't block very good. All right? Becton. It's Sean Becton, right? Yeah. Nice to meet you. Matt Rhule. Can you really go wrong with a Matt in charge? Yeah. But yes, that's a great question there. Mouth. Weird. Came from Matt. Although Matthew, he might be on the upper echelon of Matts. Anytime they go with Matthew. Rusty says if Mickey was recruiting guys to play for Nebraska and not the U of Mickey, why do you think the recruiting class might fall apart? No, Rusty. I never said it would fall apart. I said, watch it. I think if Mickey is on staff, it stays very stable. You're inevitably, with coaching change, you're probably going to lose a couple guys. If you dump a bunch of them, now you're it's a different scenario. Because if they dump a bunch and Mickey is not on Nebraska's staff and Mickey goes somewhere else and gets a head coaching job, those kids will just go. I'm with you. You're the recruiting is too. The University of Nebraska is the best for you. But some kids are like, well, I really like you also. And then that's the kid's choice. I'm not saying it's going to fall apart. Well, there you go. Sean, he's throwing caveats in there. You have to look at Rhule's overall record minus the first year. Yeah, I know what you're saying. You did the first year. Oh, Mike, I'm with you, baby. Mike's got it. Texas and Louisiana recruiting. You keep Mickey and Rhule, and I know Rhule is going to be. Listen. Give me some Ohio dudes that are always seem to be kind of mean. Square, jar-headed looking guys. Neck starts about here. Corey Schlesinger types. Pennsylvania, like Rust Belt me. Texas, Florida, like just take the country like this on a diagonal. This, California, and that way, you keep them. Unless you got just a freak. Hey, man, there's a freak out there. We need to go talk to him. Okay, great. But if we go Arizona, diagonal this way, and yonder. Oh, take that back. I got to go this way and up and over. There. I was going to cut off this part. I'm going to go to the panhandle. I'm going to go up on the border and over. This is my main focus of the country. That's it. That's all I want. Oh, man. Trey Palmer has announced that he is going professional. Congrats to him. Good move. Guy's talented, man. He's a talented guy. And for him, I think it's a strike while the iron's hot. Okay. Football always changes, right? So guys Trey's size right now can get in and make a bunch of money. Like you can make a bunch of money. Runs good routes, got good hands, fast. Catches the ball, runs with it after catch. Football is going to be evolving back to the monsters. Just wait, because all these defenses are going small, and all these offensive coordinators are going big, and they're starting to punch people in the face. And it's awesome. I love it. I love it. It's coming back. You watch teams that are good, they can run it. It's great. But yeah, Trey, go get paid, baby. Go get paid. I totally understand. Congratulations. Thank you for everything you did for Nebraska. I know it was a short tenure, and I'm talking on the field. I don't know much that he did off the field, but he seems like a stand-up kid. Go get yours, buddy. Go get that bag. Go get that loot. Really would like to keep him, though. Been an awesome weapon to have. All right, what's Chris got today? Oh, Chris pissed. Hey, Sean. Sean, message Chris. So Nebraska fires an underachieving head coach to hire another underachieving head coach. Rhule went 11-27 in the NFL and 47-43 in the NCAA. 1-2 in bowl games. What is the upside? Just trash. Can't trust Jeff. Dude. You unstar that one. Hide. Come on, Chris. I ain't even responding. Yep, threw a yonder there. Good buddy Chad Detloff, graduate of North Dakota State, a Bison. Said if NDSU can get recruits, then you should too. Yeah, I agree. Will be interesting to see how it all shakes out. Lot to sort through. It's going to be an interesting couple weeks. We may not go to bowl games, but we keep the offseason lively. We got a bunch going on, man. Oh, gotta keep. There we go, Chris. Calm down, buddy. Thanksgiving's getting to everybody. Long week. Did you have a good Thanksgiving?
Yeah, I did a whole lot of nothing. Just watch football. Ate a bunch of food, man. It's good stuff.
Nice. I had so many Brussels sprouts to get myself. I almost got to get myself. My internals were all messed up. Matt Rhule, head coach, University of Nebraska at Lincoln. No, Doug, I'm not going to read yours. Like I said, he's one of the 5 on my list. That list changed a bunch from way back at the beginning. Matt Campbell was on there. I like it because I like I said, I think you can build the defense, or I'm going to rephrase that. I think you can expand on the defense that Bill Bush resurrected in a rapid manner. I think you give yourself opportunity to become very relevant if you make a big move with an offensive coordinator. If it's as WBD3 requested, you know, the cat Coastal Carolina, whomever it is, constant evaluation of your staff. Are my position coach and my coordinators, are they top 5 in the country? If they are not top 5 in the country, what do I feel they are not being recognized for to be in the top 5 of the country, right? It's all about setting that expectation of your organization. How are you going to make this work? It's not a nice guy. It's not a nice guy. It's not a buddy business, right? We remember way back to Callahan. Yeah. We all knew Cosgrove should be fired, right? Everybody, grandmas were telling me, why would we not fire this defensive coordinator guy? I'm like, I don't know. He's bad. That guy was so bad. He then went to coach high school and got fired from a high school. But he was our DC because he was the head coach's buddy. It's not a buddy business. Okay. It's okay, even where you are. All right. You are in the low part of your division of a conference. But if I'm Nebraska, I take a view of I have got to rewire the brain of this whole entity. Okay. I should have top 5 assistants at every position coordinators. And if I don't, I got to have guys that are working to get there. And they're showing me the path they're taking. That is realistic. That is not crazy. We're a good example of it. We started out 1,000 square foot carryout spot in Omaha, just because. Named it, said, hey, we want to be perfect on purpose. Never going to do it, but we're sure as hell going to try. Okay. Moved over here. Do we screw shit up? Yeah, a lot. Do we make up for it? Yeah, a lot. But our expectation is that. I think I have 2 of the best guys that could run this place when I'm not here. I pay them as such. My kids work through the chain. The more skills you acquire, the more money you make. Very simple concept. But we worked Wednesday night of Thanksgiving, which is a crazy-ass busy night, with next to nobody working. Didn't have a hitch at all. Just head down, work, go. Right? I have an expectation to have great employees. They expect me to be a great boss. We have good relationship. I think Nebraska can have that expectation. I think Nebraska can do that. I think they should strive to do that. And guess what? You're going to go to somebody that you view as in the top 5, and they're going to tell you to pound sand. And that's okay. Then you go to the next guy. You say, hey, we want you here. We see what you do. We want you to come be great here. That's how you can build it. I feel right now Bill Bush is a top 5, not coordinator, unfortunately, maybe coordinator of the special teams. Pay him. Pays that man his money. I think you have a top 5 wide receiver coach as he evolves into potentially, hopefully, my vision of it is he's the offensive coordinator, but I don't know. I'm not Matt Rhule. I'm Matt Vrzal. If I have a top 5 wide receiver coach, I'm going to pay him as such. If I feel he evolves into being a top 5 coordinator, I'm going to pay him as such. Away you go. But when that's your goal at every position, then watch them. When you get guys at every position feel they're the best at their position, it's natural. Defensive line coaches and offensive line coaches cannot get enough of one-on-ones. They cannot. I'm going to put my guys against your guys. I'm about to whoop your ass. You better pack a lunch because it's going to take all day. You are not whooping my guys. And now that becomes competitive, right? DBs and wide receivers. Some of the best trash talk you will ever be part of in your life. Defensive backs and wide receivers going at it. They become competitive. Kids become competitive. The ball guys become a competitive. You're like little systems become competitive. Running back, linebacker. Hey, baby, we're about to do some field drill. Okay, bet. I'm going to get 5 yards over there. You get 5 yards over there. We're going to figure it out. What we're going to do. And it all becomes competitive. And every day you walk in the facility, it's competition. And you ain't waiting for guys to get out to practice. Everybody's out of practice already because they want to be there and want to compete. Build it. It's there to build. You will have the funding to build it. This is an interesting one from Mike. Mike says, I hope Rhule does not forsake the walk-on program. The walk-on program needs a serious retooling. Okay? The walk-on program cannot be treated, and Mickey did not do this. This is not a Mickey Joseph comment. Okay? This is not a Mickey Joseph comment. The walk-on program needs to be taken seriously because it is a viable entity for you to become very efficient in your practice structure. It is a way to develop your players that may be off of the radar that can become great, that are late bloomers in life, that didn't get coaching that they needed early in life, that didn't understand the concepts that you're trying to teach them right out of the gate. Okay? But they cannot be treated as second-class citizens. They are giving their bodies up to you. Okay? Your relationship with them cannot be that much different than your relationship with your starters. If you view them as cast-offs, they will be treated as cast-offs. If you give them different parameters on game day, like being there at 5 a.m. for some fucking reason, they will be treated as different human beings from everybody else. And that's a you problem, adults. You cannot treat them differently than anyone else. They have to be treated the same. Then watch what it does. Then finding guys that come through there is not a rarity. It is a commonplace. Your Jimmy Scott, your Kenny Malins, the guys you gave a chance to, they're damn good football players. They're now viable. Instead of the one-offs, you have multiples of them that can contribute to you. So when your player gets hurt, that dude that nobody wanted, that you built, will go into the game and will kill for you and will be damn good at it. Mike, that's an excellent point. It has to be taken super seriously, and it has to be treated the same. They are human beings. They are not different than the guys you have on scholarship. You saw something in them to give them a chance, just like you saw something in the superstar to give them a chance. Do not treat them any differently. It is absolutely ridiculous that had happened in the past. And I told one of the fathers of one of the guys who walk on that he did not do his son a justice. I don't know if we've talked since then. It was not a good discussion. But like I said many a time, I'm just dumb enough to be dangerous. I will speak my mind. Yeah, Chris has got it. Mickey, wide receiver recruiting coordinator. Bush, special teams coordinator. Fish keeps the DBs. Yeah, Fish will be interesting to me because he came in with the other regime. I think they're developed some tension between them. He's like, listen, I'm gonna go do my own thing. I'm gonna go get these guys. I'm gonna do my stuff, and then we're gonna go from there. And he did. I think Fish. Honestly, I met him. I went over and saw a buddy of mine, and I got to meet him. He just seems like he needs he seems like a great guy, but I don't know. Maybe he just needs a fresh start. I don't want him to because I think the defensive backs have done a nice job. But great man coverage all game. Gave up a couple, but everybody's going to give up a couple. The other team's trying to win too. But yeah, that'd be. I like Becton. I think with the offense that was run, Becton becomes very important because the tight ends become more viable in what I think Rhule would have a vision of the team to be, which is a very physical football team. So I'd probably keep Beck too. Now, this is your hope list. The reality of it is it's not going to happen. So, I mean, it may not happen. They may have other places to go. I don't know where that one went, Doug. Give me just a second here. I got to scroll. I'm not reading that one. You know, and I know, Dougie. Here, we'll do this. That'll show. If you want to read it, you can read it. To you guys, all and gals out there listening, appreciate you. It was, I had this vision of taking Husker Hangover off of celestial radio, or is that what we are? Basically off the dial, because of some things that I didn't agree with the way were run at the former place. Tried to get this put together, ran into a couple hitches and some bureaucracy, which I hate more than life itself, but got it done. We bootstrapped it, and Cam has been awesome. Cam's done a great job putting up with me, number one, but making sure all this stuff works. Thank you guys for your participation on the season. We're going to be better next year. We'll have more time. We've got a whole year now to get the show sponsored up and that kind of stuff and do some fun things. I'll try to set a lineup more instead of texting my buddies the morning of to get a lineup. So like, hey, you just come on one time, blah, 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 blah. We'll get off week games set up. We'll get all that stuff set up. But we threw it together this year. As always, I have an absolute blast doing this. There are some mornings that it sucks, but we've got it out. And there are some mornings that it's great. Like this morning, it's great. Where Nebraska wins the game. We beat Iowa. I don't have to listen to Iowa person anymore, which I have to because when we lose, you got to take it as much as you win. But I thank you from the bottom of my heart. We will continue to grow. We will continue to get better. I'm going to look at some things. So follow all the social media. Follow the page on YouTube. Subscribe, follow, all that stuff. We'll post things out there if we just kind of randomly do a show at some time. It'll probably just be on StreamYard. We won't break it down and do the whole setup and hubbub. That way it's easier for Cam. He doesn't have to haul this shit here to set up. And then I can maybe just do it from home and catch an extra hour of sleep. But I love you guys. Thank you for playing along. As always, go Big Red. Cam Broham, Matt Vrzal, Husker Hangover, signing out. Have a day.